Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather towards the end of the week and the weekend today. Also could have some more snow coming up on Friday as an area of low pressure runs into the cold air, hits that cold air, and possibly gives us some snow across the country. Now, before I get on with the video, I just want to mention the advertising may usually be a video ad overlaying my weather videos at gazweathervids.com. Please pay those ads. You'll be supporting gazweathervids.com by doing that. So we're going to start off with the stratosphere. I haven't looked at the stratosphere for a little while, but we do have the stratospheric warming going on. It actually happened a few days ago, but the temperatures in the stratosphere are still unusually above average. Remember at the start of the year I talked about the sudden stratospheric warming. It did occur, it has occurred. We can see the black line shooting up there, and the grey line here indicates where the temperature in the stratosphere should be at this time of the year. We're well above that grey line, I say, indicating that the stratospheric warming did occur. We're still quite warm up there at 10 HPA. 10 HPA is about as far as we can go without going out in towards space. At 30 HPA, which is a little bit lower down, we see that the warming did occur as well. So it went down lower into the stratosphere and it propagated into the troposphere as well. And we're still above average at 30 HPA as well. Not as above average as we was at the peak of the sudden stratospheric warming, but still well above where we should be at this time of the year. So that's has, as I say, propagated down into the troposphere. The troposphere is where areas of high pressure and low pressure develop, so really where weather takes place. This is really looking at the troposphere, these 500 millibar height anomaly charts I like to use. And we can see that we've got some blocking beginning to appear up here over the Arctic and down in towards Greenland. That could just be the first signs of the sudden stratospheric warming beginning to develop some blocking through the troposphere. Also notice a very deep trough of low pressure setting up over the east and the north of the United States. The jet stream digging well southwards there around that trough. A really severe cold wave coming to the north and the east of the United States over the next few days. You're going to be hearing a lot about this on the news, I think, over the next week or so, as really cold air moves down into the populated areas of the east of the states. And again, the GFS, that's the ECMWF, the GFS showing very similar with that trough of low pressure and the jet stream digging southwards through the east of the United States. For us, the jet stream runs across the Atlantic and runs to the south of the British Isles. We've got this trough of low pressure there over the British Isles itself. Again, notice the blocking beginning to appear up towards Greenland and around the North Pole. Again, that could just be indicating that the blocking is beginning to set up in response to that sudden stratospheric warming. But the main thing for the next week, 10 days, is going to be the cold wave coming into the north and the east of the United States. Really severely cold for those places. And for us, we are going to be on the cool side, but not as cold. I have to emphasise that, not as cold as they are in the east of the United States, despite the fact the colours are very similar, both deep blues, but they're just indicating troughs of low pressure, and this is a particularly severely cold trough of low pressure. This is over us is a much more modified trough of low pressure. So temperature anomalies for the next week, the 15th of January to the 22nd of January, we're going to be below average across the British Isles. We're around 2 to 4 degrees below average, so quite substantially below average for many places. And much of the continent showing below average temperature anomalies as well, as is Scandinavia. Just the southeast and the southwest of the continent has those temperatures nearer or a little bit above the seasonal average. So here's the problem that we have for Friday. The area of high pressure up there over Scandinavia, the low pressure in the Atlantic taking weather systems in across the country, and those weather systems are running into that cold air. They will be producing the risk, at least the risk, of some snow. So here's the upper air temperatures for Friday, indicating that temperatures are going to be cold for much of the country, where we've got these green colours. That's indicating quite cold temperatures, and over here to the east, those temperatures are really quite cold indeed. The dew points even more important to indicate that below freezing. Dew points are across the country, away from Ireland, Wales and South West England. Dew points are very important for snow, as we found out yesterday, where we had those dew points going above freezing. We had rain, where we had the dew points below freezing. We had that snow. So this suggests that for the west we're probably seeing more in way of rain, but certainly for the bulk of the country, we've got the dew points below freezing, indicating that this precipitation, which is very extensive on Friday, would be producing some snow across the country. And there's the temperatures for Friday, indicating that we're around or below freezing for many areas, again away from Ireland, Wales and southwestern parts of England. That low pressure, as I say, is coming up against the cold blocking area of high pressure over Scandinavia. Weather fronts are stalling, and as we go into Saturday, we find those fronts beginning to slip away to the south in the form of that area of low pressure there, moving away to the south of the country. That just indicates that weather fronts have come up against that cold block, they've stalled, and now they're sliding away. But we have to look at this next area of low pressure out of the Atlantic, quite a substantial area of low pressure, that one, and that could change things a little bit as we go into the weekend. So that low pressure really does become a major feature in the Atlantic, and it's pushing weather systems in across country. Again, there could be a spell of snow with this, but it's introducing milder winds to the south and west of the country, but probably producing quite a lot of snow for northern England and Scotland. But it's too far away really. This could be adjusted southwards, like the first area of low pressure we're having on Friday. In the end, this could be adjusted southwards and finish up sliding away. It's a bit too far away still to have too much confidence in it, to be honest. The ECMWF again for Friday, we've got the high pressure over Scandinavia, the low pressure in the Atlantic, bringing these weather fronts in across the country. As we move through, we find those low pressure systems are stalling, and the weather fronts are stalling here across the country, showing signs of sliding away again. So once again, this implies that weather fronts have come up against the cold air, they've stalled, produced snow, and then they're starting to slide away into the continent. But then as we go into Sunday, we get this next very deep area of low pressure forming in the Atlantic. This takes a more southerly track than the GFS is showing. The GFS wants it further north in the Atlantic, the ECMWF showing it on a more southerly angle, so this perhaps provides some better chances for snow, particularly for the north and the east of the country on Sunday. And there's the situation as we're going to midnight on Monday. A very deep area of low pressure has formed across Wales and southwest England, and to the north across northern England and Scotland we've got quite a blizzard blowing there, actually, with heavy snow on that easterly wind. But for really from Wales and the Midlands southwards, we're probably looking at more towards rain, but it's too far away really to have much confidence in it. And then as we go beyond that, the ECM takes that low pressure way into the continent. We back the winds round to the east and the northeast, and once again, and we finish up eventually with low pressure sitting somewhere around the south of the country, pulling down this cold northerly wind. Generally, blocking is maintained, quite weak blocking, but blocking is maintained to the north and to the northeast of the country. So it's a very interesting outlook coming up. It looks as though we have got the snow event for Friday. I've got a firm up on that over the next few days. But as we go into the weekend, a more substantial and deeper area of low pressure throwing weather systems in across the country. They could again produce snow, perhaps more to the north this time. But it's all very interesting, and there's no sign really of the Atlantic establishing a very mild flow, the sort of mild weather that we had at the start of the month. There's no sign of that kind of balmy southwesterly coming back. All in all, staying very cool and sometimes cold. That's it for now. I'll be doing the 5-day forecast tomorrow, so do come back for that, or I'll be attempting to. It's a very complicated situation, so I'll be just attempting to do the 5-day forecast. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.